Dorian Williams has the longest arm reach by 2 inches when comparing him to the other linebackers that are going to be in this linebacker competition. The quarterback of this defense for Sean McDermott. The storyline this offseason is who is going to win that middle linebacker role. Welcome to my channel here, Bills News Consolidated. I hope you guys checked out my previous video launched yesterday, breaking down Tyrel Dotson's performance versus the Steelers versus the Browns. We saw a little bit of Baylon Spector as well as Terrell Bernard. So I hope you guys really check out that game film review. But really taking a look at it in the comments, a lot of people are upset with Tyrel Dotson, are not sold on Tyrel Dotson's performance there. So we have to take a look at the other guys competing for this position, and it really includes rookie linebacker Dorian Williams that Brandon Beane brought in here. Now, each and every single one of these linebackers competing for this spot have a little bit of hindrances. They have some flaws that the Buffalo Bills really need to kind of understand going forward here. And I think we need to start with rookie linebacker Dorian Williams, knowing that his arm length is the longest by 2 inches. I mean, the understanding of that at the linebacker position, you have to be able to have strength, you have to be able to have length to stack and shed blocks, right? So if you don't have that length, if you don't have the strength, chances are it's going to be very difficult for you to shed blocks in the NFL, taking on offensive linemen. So we know that Dorian Williams, he has the length. Does he have the strength quite yet? That's something that can get developed over time, and he could be strong enough for the NFL game. We got to see this training camp. Now, the other things that we have to keep in mind with these linebackers is their understanding of their game, right? Understanding of Sean McDermott's defense, being able to call plays to the defense. Now, if you look at that game film review, Matt Milano, Dorian Williams, linebackers, they communicate to one another. Tyrel Dotson and Milano when they filled in. Tremaine Edmonds. So knowing that this linebacker is going to be surrounded by talent, even Jordan Poyer behind him, Micah Hyde, Trey White, Von Miller, you can kind of understand things. I think really all you really need to do is understand this defense and be able to communicate every single play to the rest of the defense. And I believe every other player on this defense, they know what to do. They're going to line up properly. It's really up to this middle linebacker to just know the entire playbook and be able to verbally speak it to the rest of the defense. And I think that's very, very capable of Dorian Williams to learn that this offseason. And hopefully he can adjust to the game and getting up to speed and strong enough, right? So understanding the game and also getting strong enough, I think, are Dorian Williams' hindrances. But he's got that 4.4940, right? Clearly probably the fastest in pass coverage. Got a fluid back pedal. A very, very ferocious hitter too. Willing striker, and I really like what Dorian Williams presents in the passing game, fitting the recipe to win with the Buffalo Bills. Now that we have Josh Allen, the best quarterback in the NFL, paired with Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis in this offense, running up that score, we need a pass coverage linebacker because we force opposing teams to pass and try to run up that score. Dorian Williams is a great fit for the Buffalo Bills, but will he get up to speed? Now, the other linebacker everyone is suggesting here is Terrell Bernard. And I think he makes a lot of sense here. He's tall, 6'1", but he's light, 227 pounds. He's strong, but I think he lacks a little bit of athleticism, Terrell Bernard. Now, is he good in pass coverage? He has a decent pass coverage ability, and I think he's decent against the run too. Terrell Bernard, to me, he has a year under his belt, right? And I think that is really going to ultimately help him in this competition. And knowing this defense, right? It's already coming into camp, knowing this defense, not having to waste time learning the defense. He could really focus on his strengths. And to me, looking at the pictures, he looks bulked up. Like his arms look jacked up. Terrell Bernard, he looks ready to take on that position. And but to me, lacking athleticism, I think that's the key factor here is having athleticism. You look at their combine ratings, their athleticism scores between Dorian Williams, Baylon Spector, Terrell Bernard, and Tyrel Dotson. Bernard had the lowest athleticism score out of them all. He just seems a little bit tight in his hips, but he is the tallest. Now, Balin Spector, to me, super underrated here. And I think Balin Spector, if that in that game film study too, you could see it, how his plant and drive on the football is absolutely insane. And his technique is absolutely flawless. Now, he's only 6 foot. He's an inch shorter than Terrell Bernard, but I think he has great instincts. He just looks like a great linebacker out there. He just fundamentally sound. Maybe he lacks a little bit of size, but when you compare him to Tyrel Dotson is at 237, and he's at 230 pounds, Spector. So they're very close in size. 232 pounds he was listed at. So they're a little bit bigger, right? They're a little bit bigger. They can take on the run. They don't have that arm length, so we're talking about having length, strength to shed blocks. Something Tremaine Edmunds was actually fairly decent at. I know he had a hurt shoulder at times and people caught him flack, but he played hurt a lot. And when he took on defenders, he did a decent job. He utilized his strength pretty well, his length pretty well. Now, what do I see here? What is this competition going to unfold here? Now, previously I launched that Tyrel Dotson video, and to me, looking at him go out starting in place of Tremaine Edmunds last year versus the Steelers, versus the Browns, seeing how well he performed in Buffalo Bills, winning each of those games, not really missing a step. You could see the relationship, the communication between Dotson and Milano, the trust that's been established there. I mean, Dotson, he's entering year 4 with the Buffalo Bills. So really what I want to do is just break down the flaws and the problems with each and every single one of these. We already mentioned it. Dorian Williams lacks experience, might lack overall strength, but he's got the speed, right? He's got the athleticism at that position. And then you got Terrell Bernard. I think he lacks a little bit of athleticism, but he's got a year under his belt. He had a lot of production in college, and, he's overall pretty decent, and he's the tallest, So we got to take a look. Each and every single one of these guys presents a different skill set. That's why the cream is going to rise to the top for the Bills. This is excellent. Now, Balin Spector, he lacks a little bit of size. He's not the tallest out of the bunch, but he is a little bit heavier. He's the second heaviest, and he's just fundamentally sound. And, maybe not the fastest, but he's more athletic than Terrell Bernard, not as athletic as Dotson or Dorian Williams. And then we have Tyrel Dotson, right? Dotson, the heaviest, 237, been here the longest, understands Sean McDermott's scheme the most, has the best relationship with Matt Milano. Maybe not the tallest, doesn't have the longest reach, but when you look at what he was able to do, swim moves. He, at times, took on offensive linemen, but at times, offensive linemen showed that he could get dominated against the run, too. But, again, he is the heaviest on this team. So let me know what you guys think. A lot of you are disappointed in Dotson's game film study review. Make sure you check out that video. Who do you think the cream is going to be for the Buffalo Bills to rise to this occasion, to be the quarterback of Sean McDermott's first year of calling plays as a Buffalo Bills coach? Absolutely love it here. Make sure you guys hit like, subscribe. Check you guys soon. Go Bills!